Alright kids, we're back. This time CRF300L heated grip time. I always use the Tusk heated grip kit where you put the heating elements on your bars, your throttle tube, then you can slide your own choice of grips over top. And of course you can also buy all-in-one where you put the grip on, but I just like to be able to use whatever type of grip I prefer. I like to be able to put those on as opposed to using the grip that comes with the full-on heated grip all-in-one system. So as you can see here, I have already taken the headlight off. It's pretty simple. You got 4 bolts that look like this. There's going to be 2 on each side. I'll show you here on the mask. You're going to have the lower one is in a little bit deeper, and then of course you have one right out here on the edge, and you also have your headlight plug. This you would just take your fingers, squeeze the sides of the plug in and pull it off. Simple as that. And of course that's it right there. Go ahead and sit this down. These are a 5mm hex. And you will then pull out your little, you have to look right up in here towards your right turn signal. You'll pull this shiny black piece of rubber out that covers the turn signal plugs and your accessory plug right there. Now your accessory plug, when you slide the little booty up, your accessory plug will have this cap on it. It's like a dummy plug. And you can just squeeze down on it and pop it off. Then what I'm using, I will show you here. This is what I'm using here. This pigtail with the connector plug on it. This is from Amazon. I just searched up CRF300L accessory plug adapter or something to that effect. And these pop up. I believe it was either $10 or $13, I'm not sure. I have a set of Tusk grips, they're $9, and the Tusk heated grip kit, which is right here. You get the 2 element pads with wires. Then of course here's your wire that comes off of the switch with your little resistor on there, little ballast. And you also get these cheesy little switches. You get this little plate and you get the little toggle switch here. These are super cheap right here. You'd probably want to get a flat one, but I'm going to use this one for now. It's all I have. On the KLX here, I did put one that is a little more waterproof. It's a little shorter, has a little rubber booty on it, and a little better quality. But I forgot to get one, so this is what I'm using here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the grips off. Usually that throttle grip can be a bitch. Some manufacturers just cover this thing with glue and it is basically stuck on there. We got to scrape the whole freaking grip off and then take a grinder around it. So we'll see how this one is. This one, of course, you can just slit it and slide it right off.
Who wants to do some grips? Time for some heated grips, kids.
Don't cut yourself. You don't want to get bloody. Cut towards your buddy. What they always say. There, right there. That one come right off, hardly any glue. rid of that. Let's see how this bitch is here. Oh, look at that. That come off easy, but the issue is Honda decided to put little grippy ridges all over this. So guess what? I'm not going to be able to stick my pad on there for my element nice and easy until these are all somehow sanded or ground off. So I'm not going to bore you guys with that until I get something to clean all these little lumpies off and somehow get my heating element pad on there. I mean, it probably could stick on the tops of these, but I'm not sure how well it's going to stick. We could maybe try that and see what happens. And of course, they have this little freaking ridge here too that my new grip will have a tough time getting up over that. The factory grip, it kind of has a little like slot in there where that locks onto that ridge. And of course, the grips I got, they don't have anything like that. And I also have wraparound bar ends here, so I'm going to have to cut the end of my new grip off also. And of course, you have to keep in mind when you're doing these. Let me get this freaking thing situated better. When you're putting this wire on, I mean, you got to kind of keep in mind where you want it. Do you want the wire coming up top here out of your grip? Do you want it down below, coming out of your grip like that, maybe directly underneath? You just have to make sure you have enough play in it that when you give it throttle, you know, you're not ripping it loose. So, well, I definitely am going to have to deal with that right there. And this side I need to clean. On the left side, the clutch side, I got to clean all the grip glue off so that my heating element will stick properly. You can just kind of take your hand and kind of roll that. Just keep like rolling it around. It'll grab a hold of that grip glue and just kind of peel it off. I don't need to bore you with this. I probably edit it out. Nothing's ever easy. Why can't they just put a nice smooth throttle tube on with a little bit of grip glue that you can just clean off like that? No. We got to either glue the whole sumbitch on, so you got to cut and grind every little piece off, or make it come off easy like that and put little ridges everywhere. Now, like this side, when I put this on, I'm actually going to put it just kind of down below where I can take it in front of the little housing here and over to the wires. You just peel these off like that. And you just got to make sure you have your wires want them. You want to make sure you put them on to where your grip is going to come up. You don't want to go pushing your grip up over this piece right here too hard and trying to go up over it, because you could pull the wires off. So I always stick it so hopefully the end of my grip will end up right in there. Hopefully. Check my grip. That should be pretty good. So I'm going to say F it. I'm going to stick it. Sometimes it's even best to take a heat gun maybe and heat that up a little bit and make sure that sticks well. So I'm going to shut the camera off here. Get this freaking thing up a little bit. I'm going to shut the camera off, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of deal with these little nibbins. I'll show you what I got here. You got these little freaking A nubbins on here. So I'm going to have to try to get rid of them. They stick up, geez, about a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to have to try to get at least most of those off of there somehow here, and then I will be back. I'm not going to bore you with that. I mean, I'll maybe show you what tool I used or whatever to get them off, but I'm going to go ahead and try something here and get them off, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm happy to report these things actually come off super easy. I have an X-Acto knife here. If I can find the freaking camera right there, and you just take it and go like that, so to speak. The handle's in the way here, so I'll do what I can. See, they slice right off like that. Actually pretty easy. I mean, it only took me a minute to go around and knock them all off. So I'm still going to take some sandpaper around here, like maybe some 180 grit, to smooth them up and go from there. And I'm letting, there's an edge on here, I'm letting that on there to kind of help hold the grip on. And of course, like I said, this has that ledge up here. You could take that off if you want. I never do. I just kind of slide the grip up to it. But it probably keeps a little bit of strength there on the throttle tube. But I'm going to go ahead and let it on there and kind of deal with it. So I'm going to go ahead and never cut towards yourself like this, because you can slip and shove that freaking blade right into you. I've done it before, and I'm stupid enough to keep doing it, so probably see it when I'm bleeding sometime. Alright, I'm going to get some sandpaper and get that done, then I'll go ahead and stick that on. I'll be back. I want to show you something here on this throttle tube. Your throttle tube is thicker, of course, than your left side on the bar. So when you wrap this around, you're going to have a space with no elements here. This is about a 1/2 inch. So make sure you want this somewhere that you're not worried about your hands being warm. See, I would rather have my fingertips warm out here, so I put the opening towards the back here, the palm of my hand. So keep that in mind. All right. Okay. I have my wires all run here. I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what I did, but right here they give you a pretty easy to follow wiring diagram here with your kit, but I will show you quick here. What I have sticking out of the front of the bike is, this is the resistor wire. You can see the resistor right there. There are 2 wires coming off of the switch, and they go into one. This single wire from the switch with the resistor for the high and low will go to your 12-volt source, which will be your, in my case, will be, there's my pigtail right there coming off. I have it plugged in. So this wire from the switch, high and low, is going to go to the red hot wire. Okay. Then what you have this is a wire from the left grip and the right grip. They will be wrapped together, and they will go to the ground wire on the accessory plug wire. And then you have the other 2 wires from the handle grips. There are 2 wires on each grip. So you have 1 pair of them going out front to the ground wire on the accessory plug wire. Then you will bring the other 2 wires left and right. They give you this plug right here. I twisted both the wires together. I slid the plug over. I have to crimp it on, and then it will plug onto the center post for the the ground on your plug right there. So I don't know if you can follow that or not, but I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff connected, wrapped up. I'm going to make sure they heat up before I go ahead and slide and glue my grips on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This pigtail of mine too, you see there's almost 2 feet of wire on that. You can definitely trim that back and shorten it up so you don't have all this like wrapped up underneath your headlights. Just make sure when you're routing all this stuff down and behind and up and wherever your switch is, that you have plenty of clearance when you turn your bars and you have everything run where you want it before you go twisting wires up and soldering or connecting your wires. Otherwise you're pulling stuff apart when you find out that it's not routed the right way. So I'm going to go ahead, get everything twisted up, heat shrunk, and then go ahead and get my grips slid on. So hang on till we get a little bit of something done here. All right, we're all buttoned up. The wires all run, grips are on, throttle tube clearance is good. Bar left and right, good, no binding. One thing I will say, I had mentioned about that trimming that accessory wire because it was 2 feet long. You probably want to do that because there's not a lot of room behind the headlight to tuck your wires in. You don't want to put your clump of wires directly in the middle of this headlight where the plug is in the back. That plug sits pretty far back towards the neck on the bike. So when you put those wires in a big clump back there, you want to put them either to the left side of the bike or the right side of the bike, not directly in the middle, because you probably will smash them and have trouble getting your headlight back in. So keep that in mind. All right, so So, freaking A. I have so much trouble getting the god dang camera on my face. Alright, so there you go. Grips are on. That setup I have, you're under 40 bucks to do it. And it's going to take you probably, I'd say respectfully, about an hour to put them on. If you really take your time and you're really wrapping electrical tape around the wires and making a nice wiring loom, it's going to take you longer. But I just used some zip ties. Once I got them in place, ziggity zangity, throw them on. I just want to get out and ride, and I want them to last, but I want to go on the bike and ride too. I ain't going to mess around with a bunch of electrical tape and plastic tubing trying to get the wires look all pretty. I mean, you can see possibly, maybe, I just have mine running right down along there, zip tied in real nicely on both sides, right there, going down. And then I did run them, see if I can show you here. There's my switch, and you do have to make, I don't even think I mentioned it, but you have to make some type of switch plate. You have to mount your switch somewhere. This is just a piece of sheet metal that I drilled a hole for each bolt, and then drilled a hole in the center and put the high and low on. And some people will say, well, why didn't you make it wider there so your high was on top, your low was on the bottom? Well, I didn't want to, because that's the little piece of steel that I had, so that's the way I did it, because I want to be different. And I like my high to the left, my low to the right. How about that? And that's that cheesy little switch we got there that'll probably break off the first time you're in any kind of little lay down, and your hand hits it and snaps it right off, and then you won't have heated grips anymore the rest of your trip. But yeah, I run them right down this little abandoned bracket here from the factory. I put them right down through that and shot them right out there. So there you go. And they heat up good. One thing I have noticed with the Tusk grips, they usually on occasion, like one or the other will heat up quicker. Sometimes you put them on and this one will heat up quicker than this one, but as you ride, in a couple minutes they're both just as hot as each other, but one warms up. Probably the one with the resistor when you're on high probably warms up higher than the one without. But they've always worked good for me. I've only ever had one issue where they're soldered on to the heating element. I had a wire rip off, and that's happened one time, but I have them on this now. They're on that bike, and they're on the KLR here. Plus I've had them on just about every dual sport I've owned besides these, and I never had any issues other than that one wire came out. And if you like to have whatever, they're nice if you like to have a grip that you are comfortable with and not being stuck with the standard grip that comes with a full-on heated grip kit. Remember to like right here, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, that little red thing. Even if you hate this video and you think it sucks balls, hit that button. Just do it for me. Peace out.